Right, well in this video we're going to have a look at some rules concerning the letters G and C and an aspect concerning the emphasis of syllables, or where to place the emphasis on which syllables. Right, so when the letter C has a dot above it, as up here, it is said to be palatalized. Now the letter C dot has a ch sound, and the use of this dot is a modern approach. It wasn't used by the Anglo-Saxons themselves. And so when you read some older text or sources, you may find, or you will find, that there's no use of this C dot to give you the idea that you need to pronounce the C with a ch sound instead of the alternative, which is a k sound. The K sound, k, is the alternative. So when there's a dot above it, modern authors have put a dot there, which helps us understand that we must pronounce the letter C in the form of ch. All right, now if the letter C, now there are some rules. When there's no dot above the C, what do we do? Now there's some general rules we can follow, and it turns out that before or after the letter I, then C is palatalized, which means that it's pronounced with a ch. All right. And it is sometimes palatalized, before or after the letters E, ash, and Y. And that's including the long version of those, the long vowels. Unless it is directly followed by a back vowel such as A, O, U, in which case it has the K sound. All right, so generally if you see the I and the E, but certainly if you see the I before the C or after the C, then it has a ch sound, ich, chi. Sometimes too with the letter E, ash, A, and Y, but that's only sometimes. If it's directly followed by back vowels like A, O, or U, then it has the K sound, even if it has these E or ash or Y in front of it. Next bit. The letter G has the palatalized form, G with a dot above it, and G with a dot above it is pronounced y, as opposed to the two other alternatives, which are a fricative sound ch, and the other one is a g sound. Right? Now y sound is as in the modern word yes. Now again, not used by the Anglo-Saxons, but this G dot is often used in modern text. Now, some rules. If there's no G dot appearing in your text, how do you pronounce it? Well, you can be pretty sure that if you have the letter I before or after it, then it's palatalized. So it becomes the y sound, and we'll see some examples of this below. It is sometimes palatalized before or after the letters E, ash, A, and Y, including long versions, unless it's directly followed by the back vowels A, O, or U, in which case it has the fricative sound as in the word bocha, bow, bocha. And here the fricative sound is the ch sound, bocha, as in bow and arrows. If you see the word D, ash, G, the letter ash, A-E, then you can be pretty sure that is day, day. If you see I-G-L-A-N in a text, then pretty sure it's E-land, island. And if you see E-G-E, you don't want to go echa or anything like that. It's not. It's fear, terror, fear, terror. So here, the second rule, if it's before or after the letters E, then you can see it is sometimes palatalized, so a good chance it is, but maybe not always. So there's a good chance there, because we've got the E nearby, there's a good chance it's palatalized. Come down here, Ermberg. Now the G is at the end, it has a fricative sound, ring. Ermberg, ring. Erd. Now, these compound words we're going to deal with shortly when we come to prefixes and so on and rules concerning those, but for the moment, yerd. And you can treat them as separate words. So earth, yard, dwelling place, earth. All right. Now, stress and pronunciation. So the stress and pronunciation, that's the peak of loudness, is always on the first syllable, and that's common in all the Germanic languages. Now, in a compound word, the stress is on the first word. So where we have compound words are two words, and we have here foot measure, fotmaal, fotmaal. Now the stress here is on the first word, hence it's in bold, fotmaal, fotmaal. Notice that I pronounce the word fault a little bit louder than I do mal. Fotmaal, foot measure. Erd, yerd, erd, yerd. Slight more emphasis on the word erd, earth, yard. Erd, yerd. Right. Now, prefixes are generally stressed. And there'll be some exceptions we'll deal with shortly, but generally they're stressed. So here we have a prefix, umber, about, separach, umber, separach. So about speech, criticism in this case. Mislar, wrong teaching. Beach, yever, ring giver. Beach, yever, ring giver. Beach, ring, yever, giver. The prefixes ye and be are never stressed. So when you see words beginning with a y, you know, as in you be done. Notice I pronounced be done with more intensity than y. So the y is a little bit quiet, it's not stressed, but be done is stressed, hence in the bold. You be done, you be done. So the yeah, and be are never stressed. When I say yeah, because sometimes if that's an I there, yeah, be are never stressed. So you be done. Be hate. Notice the stress was on hate. Be hate, promise. Now the prefix for, for, is rarely stressed. For you'veness. Notice the stress was on you'veness. Now the stress was on the root there, you'veness. For you'veness. It naturally happens when you say it. You notice when you start saying it for a bit, you go, for you'veness, and you'll pronounce the you've bit, you've, more strongly. Now, forgiveness, that word was. Now, when the prefix introduces a verb, the stress falls on the root stem of the second word, which was the verb. So you've got this prefix on wendun, wend, on wendun. Notice the stress there in the middle, on wend, to change. With derive, notice a derive, drive, to derive on, to drive up, to drive, with, against, off, with derive on. All right? So the stress is on that, the root stem of the second word in the case for these prefixes here. But where the second word is a verb, so where the prefix is introducing a verb, wend, change, derive, drive, okay? So it's the stress is on the stem of the verb. And that's the end there.